Hello, so I am not dead, neither have I given up doing YouTube stuff. I've just had an incredibly busy few weeks where I've kind of had to shift my focus to things which pay the bills slightly better. I've had a show opening, a play that I wrote, which opened in Exeter a couple of weeks back. And you know, as with always opening a show, it's a case of having to be there and kind of make changes during rehearsals and make sure it's really looking its best, and also it's a really nice experience for me as a writer to go to lots of the first performances, because it gives me a real chance to work out what's working and what I can shift and kind of really with an eye to what I write in the future as well. I'm also currently working on my upgrade for my PhD, so that upgrades this process which happens around the middle of the PhD, or it depends depending on the institution, but we're doing it at the moment kind of during the first term of our second year, and so I've been having to prepare like a revised proposal for that, as well as a big chunk of writing to kind of prove I can write at PhD level, I suppose. So that's been taking up a lot of time and energy and a little bit of stress, I'd say, although it's not been the worst experience ever. It's been quite useful, and I've not been completely kind of ridden with anxiety about it. Today, however, is Sunday, and I'm doing a little bit of baking. I've got some work to do a bit later just because I want to really make sure, because tomorrow is the last day that I can work on my upgrade material, and so I want to make sure I'm really ahead with that, so I'm going to do a bit of that today as well as some marking. But first I am making lemon drizzle cakes, because apparently this is a thing that I do now. I think largely it's because I've been out of the house an awful lot lately, what with the show and being in the department teaching, and so when I've been back at home I've really wanted to be at home, and this has been something that I can do like while I'm at home and still, you know, be doing something rather than just sitting and watching TV. So yeah, I'm gonna do a bit of baking. Shit. Yesterday I went up to London to catch a couple of shows. One of the good things about living in Bristol now is that, sorry, I'm gonna stop doing that, it's quite noisy. One of the good things about living in Bristol now is that it's a little bit closer to everything, to go anywhere else in the country. From Plymouth, where I used to live, if you don't know the geography of the UK particularly well, it's just very much in the southwest and quite a trek to go anywhere. So being in Bristol means it's a little bit easier to get to places, but also the benefit of going to things on Saturdays is that quite often it means, particularly if I'm just going to London, which is like an hour and 3/4 away, hour and a half away, it means I can go up, see a matinee in the afternoon and then see an evening show. So I caught 2 shows. And I quite often find that when you're doing a bit of research, it follows you around a little bit. So neither of the shows I'd picked because they had anything to do with my PhD, and then the one I saw in the evening happened to be set in Nottingham, or kind of, yeah, enough in Nottingham that it felt like it was relevant. So yeah, it kind of ended up being a bit of a research trip anyway, which is nice. And my cake is pretty much baked. Got to ice it at some point later, but I'm now heading back to my computer and I am going to make some adjustments to my upgrade material. And essentially what I've got is, here it is essentially I've got to relay out what I'm doing with my PhD, where it fits within the existing literature, and updates some of my research methodology. And essentially it's just a chance to check in now that I've actually started and I've done a year of the PhD to see how well I'm getting on. So I need to put this together and then I hand it in, and then I go for like a mini-viva, in which some of the professors and doctors in the department will kind of quiz me on how it's going so far and ask me questions to really interrogate what I've been up to, as well as making some suggestions for moving forward. That is assuming that I pass the upgrade, which I hope I do. This is my upgrade document in all its glory. It's going to be 5,000 words, so it's fairly lengthy, but I've really managed to flesh out kind of where my research sits in the literature, as well as my methodology and a little bit more of the rationale and the kind of critical framework for my analysis of bits of theatre. The section I've got left to do now is that I've got to kind of basically do a bit of an update of what I've done so far and what I've got to do next. So to give the kind of examiners, I suppose they're probably officially called, I'm not sure, but the people that are going to be involved in my Viva, to give them a kind of rough outline of how far I've got so far and what I've got left to do, and a kind of achievable framework, or kind of I suppose kind of timeline for doing that. My upgrade materials are pretty much there, and I've iced my cake as well, if you can see with the keep in focus. There you go. I really messed up the icing today though, it's not looking great. So for the rest of the evening I am just going to do a little bit of marking, which I've got to do for one of the modules that I'm teaching on. And that's kind of where I'm going to leave today's video. I just wanted to do one partly because I hadn't done one in quite a while, and I was kind of keen to do a few more of these vlog videos as I go forward, just because I know there's something that people have said that they've enjoyed or found useful in some way, so I'm keen to kind of keep doing those. But yeah, I will have some videos about some shows I've seen, etc., and as well as some new What the Theories soon, now that life is a little bit less hectic. So if you've enjoyed watching, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you don't already. Thank you very much and have a great week.